gonna give you my entire YouTube content podcast amplifier strategy. If you have an expert-based business and you're looking to get out there organically, this strategy is one of the absolute best. This is how you can repurpose podcast interviews as YouTube content and ads. And the reason this works so well for coaches and consultants is podcasts are already a great strategy to get your expertise out there. That said, most people just stop there. They just go and appear as a guest on a podcast, wait for that podcast to come out, rinse and repeat. But if you do that, you are missing out on the entire benefit of actually having these podcasts done. Because it's not just about having that individual conversation and reaching that audience. That podcast itself is almost like a webinar, but you're doing it with the credibility of someone else, and you can actually get in front of their audience, but then use that same content for your audience as well, and to grow your own organic YouTube channel, and even as an ad. And I want to give all of this to you inside of this PDF completely for free. It's right down there at the top link of the description. You can get the full PDF and follow along as we go through. As you can see here, right at the top, we explain the overall podcast content amplifier strategy. It consists of booking podcast guest appearances, posting them on your YouTube channel with permission from the host, and then turning them into short form content using AI, and then promoting the long form videos using YouTube in-feed ads. This strategy is going to allow you to create consistent long form and short form content for YouTube and cross-platform channels, while also building your industry credibility, all to generate leads. The big question you're probably asking yourself first is, how do you actually book podcasts that are filmed on video? There's a few different ways to go and find podcasts. One is to go on a site called Listen Notes to find relevant podcasts. Now you're gonna search for your industry and topics that are relevant to you, maybe search for similar guests, you can see what podcasts they've been on, and then use hunter.io to find their email addresses. So let's show you how this works. Let's go to listennotes.com, and here what we're gonna be able to do is search for either a topic or a specific thing. You can actually see there's already a trending mindset coach topic. Let's say you're a mindset coach. You could go and find podcasts that rank for mindset coach, and you can find all of these different mindset coach podcasts here, and you can see that we have a wide variety of different podcasts. Let's say you're a digital nomad type person and you want to get on this podcast. Well, you can take a look here and you can see it's got some details about the podcast. And then what we can do is we can run it through a site called hunter.io. And what hunter.io will do is it's actually going to give you the email address of whoever runs this website and this podcast. Now you'll also see that Listen Notes can also give you the email as well. Although I will tell you that Listen Notes does have higher cost subscriptions, whereas you can use hunter.io for free. So all you need to do for hunter.io is go and grab the domain for the email that you found, plug it into hunter.io, click search, and it will give you the email for the person that you can reach out to with that podcast. Now, hunter.io will actually allow you to export all of these together and save these to a list so you can do a generalized outreach later to all of these different podcasts interested in having you as a guest. This is a volume game. You're gonna wanna find more podcasts that are potentially interested in having you as a guest, especially early on. There's also another site called matchmaker.fm. Now, this is gonna be really valuable if you're newer to podcasting, or maybe you haven't built as much of a name for yourself as an expert or in the industry. That's perfectly fine too. So you can go on matchmaker.fm and you'll actually get paired with podcasts that are just starting out as well. And so on here, you can see there's over 70,000 podcasts. But when you go ahead and sign up for matchmaker.fm, what you're gonna be able to do is get connected with potential podcasts. Matchmaker doesn't just have new experts like yourself looking to hop on podcasts, but it also has new podcasts looking for guests. And that way you can get a few initial podcasts in while you build up your credibility, your experience on podcasts. And then guess what? Once you start doing more podcasts, you can speak to all the podcasts you've spoken on in the past. And that's how you're gonna actually land on bigger and bigger podcasts, is by using that credibility. But everybody's got to start somewhere, and a great place to start is with this matchmaker.fm. There's also a few other ways that you can do this too, is you can also manually research for podcasts on Google and YouTube to find podcasts in your niche. You can also post on social media, whatever platform you like to use. Let's say it's Facebook. You could go on there and make a post. I am looking to go on 6 podcasts to share, and then you can insert your expertise. So to talk about YouTube ads and how you can grow your business, or talk about mindset coaching for X, Y, and Z. And you'd be surprised. You know, your network typically is gonna have maybe somebody that either has a podcast or has heard of a podcast that they're connected with, that's gonna give you some recommendations for people to reach out to. And warm introduction is always really, really good. So if you have that opportunity, you can post that on your social media platform of choice. And the final kind of option is to use a podcast outreach agency to book those podcasts for you. We've worked with some podcast agencies in the past, and sometimes we'll connect our clients to them. And once you have found that list of podcasts, the next step is the outreach. Now, you want to start building up that list because not everybody's going to say yes. And so if we go over here, here's how the podcast outreach works. So we have an email outreach template that you can use to reach out to podcasts. What you do is you do a generalized email template where you can say a subject like schedule interview with your name for show. What I recommend is having potentially somebody reaching out on your behalf. It's better to have someone pitch a podcast on why you should be on a podcast than it is to have yourself say, hey, you should have me on your podcast. In my case, I have my assistant do it. So you can see over here, hey name, I'm assistant's name, and I'm reaching out on behalf of your name, who we believe would be a great fit to be a guest on the name of the show. Alric is, and then, you know, here's the credibility, right? So an expert at YouTube ads and advertising. And we think Alric is a great fit for the show because of custom reason. You do really want to customize this and provide some type of customized reason for why they're going to be a good fit. Then you provide a little bit of credibility. So Alric has been featured on and then a variety of different podcasts, and we'd love to add show name to that list. If you'd like to find more about Alric, you can feel free to visit his website, and then please let me know the next steps to get your name scheduled for the, so get Alric scheduled for the show. Thank you for your response. Best, Natasha. There could also be your own version of this too, where you could just, you know, reach out on your own behalf and just say, I'm interested in, you know, appearing on the show, and here's my credibility, and here's my expertise. And that's kind of in general how you want to set it up. Also, it's worth noting that the reason we have this be more for like assistants is this is generally for our clients, and our clients typically they'll have some kind of assistant, virtual assistant, operations person, somebody on their team that can reach out on their behalf. You might not be at that point yet, and that's perfectly okay. I'd also recommend potentially starting with Matchmaker first, or you can reach out on your own behalf via email. Here's an example of my actual outreach template. This is the actual outreach template that we use. So Natasha will send this out. So schedule an interview with Alric for show name. Hey name, I'm Natasha, and I'm reaching out on behalf of Alric Heck, who we believe would be a great guest on name of show. Alric is a world's leading YouTube ads expert and founder and CEO of Ad Outreach, which was named number 60 on the 2022 Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies in America, as well as number 1 in Austin, Texas. He's a seasoned entrepreneur and public speaker, and has continued to grow his portfolio of success since becoming a millionaire at age 22. And then custom reason for each show. So we still customize a reason for every show as to why I'm going to be a good fit for that show. Alric's been a guest on over 100 podcasts, including Entrepreneur on Fire, Social Media Examiner podcast, ClickFunnels Radio, Perpetual Traffic, and Roland Fraser's Business Lunch, to name a few. And we'd love to add your show name to this list. If you'd like more info about him, please visit alric.com and refer to his media kit attached below. Please let me know the next steps to get Alric scheduled for your show. Thank you for your response, or looking forward to your response. Best, Natasha. That's the exact email that we send out to get me booked on a wide variety of top podcasts very consistently. And we get a lot of podcasts just by reaching out like this. And we're typically going after, you know, bigger podcasts that I want to appear on, and this email works perfectly. Now, the other key is follow up, follow up, follow up. So if you're looking to get something, it's all about follow up, right? You want to make sure you keep following up. People's email inboxes are super cluttered. So you can see, you know, first follow up email, hey, just want to quickly circle back on this. Did you get my last email? I hope you're doing great. Circling back on this. Follow-up 3, you know, just wanted to send one more quick message. You send a couple follow-up messages essentially. And then once you get booked on these podcasts, you can use that social proof to land even more podcasts, and you can add that to those emails. So you'll naturally be able to get more podcasts, because then you could talk about the podcast you've already been on in those emails. Now, if you want to automate your email outreach, there's a really good cold email tool called woodpecker.co. This actually allows you to send more consistent cold emails automatically, and that can just make that process easier if you're doing a lot of outreach. So the next step is just to book yourself on consistent podcasts. So keeping track of those podcasts. Once you start appearing on some, you're going to keep going through there. Show up on the podcast, have a natural conversation. You want to make sure you're sharing your expertise, you're being your authentic self. These podcast hosts are going to be able to dive in. They're going to get to know your story. They're going to want to know about your expertise, your value, how you can provide something to your viewers. And at the end, you always want to make sure there's a call to action at the end to attract leads. And I love to give away a free gift. So we always send people to adoutreach.com/gift, where we give them a 19-page YouTube ad strategy PDF completely for free in exchange for their email and phone number, which we can use to contact them and see if they're interested in our help with YouTube ads. Now ours is adoutreach.com/gift. So you can see it's a very clear and simple page. My $200 million YouTube ad strategy PDF plus free bonus gift that revolutionized YouTube ads for high ticket businesses, exponentially scaled thousands of coaching and consulting businesses. Put in their name, email, phone number, their industry, and then they click this and they'll be able to get a download link for our full YouTube ad strategy PDF. And so this is where I want to send everybody, and I make it a very simple URL. Make sure the opt-in is trackable. I like yourdomain.com/gift. It also makes it people more inclined to want to opt in because everybody loves to receive a gift. So yourwebsite.com/gift. Simple, name, email, phone number. You could add an extra field if you need it, and then they click that button and they're able to go and get that PDF. Now, you can see here that after people opt in, you want to add them to your CRM, you want to email them, reach out to them. So now the next step is to post that podcast on your own YouTube channel. And you're going to look for podcasts that do video. Most podcasts are doing video these days, or at least they're done on Zoom, so the video is recorded. At the end of that podcast, you say these exact words, and I give you a script right over here. I'd love to post this podcast on my YouTube channel so my audience can see it too, and I'll put a link in the description back to your podcast so it can promote you. Would you be able to send over the video files so I can cross-promote it? Now, most of these podcast hosts are looking for more people to discover their podcast, so they're gonna say, that's great, yes. 99 times out of 100, you're gonna get people saying yes, or really maybe 9 out of 10 times. But then if people are a little bit skeptical, then you can just say, I'll post it as a different video, it's gonna be on my channel, I'll link back to you, and then those people will be more inclined to send you that file. That's the key. And you wanna follow up with these podcasts to make sure that they do send you the file. So if they don't right away, after a podcast is released, say, hey, I know you said you'd be able to send me over the file, can you please send that to me? I'd love to cross-promote it on my YouTube channel. And what you're gonna be able to then do is take that video and run it. Make sure you use a different title, different thumbnail, and make this a win-win. You always wanna include the link. You wanna really frame this as a win-win for the podcast because the podcast gets more exposure for themselves as well. If needed, you can film a separate intro to the video and then publish it to YouTube, and you can of course promote it to your email list, social media, and everywhere. So that's the second step to get that podcast, get that video in front of more of your viewers on your YouTube channel. That's a long form YouTube video. The next step is you can actually use AI to turn this podcast episode into short form content. Opus Pro is gonna allow you to take this long form video and turn it into short form content. If you take a look here, you can see the long form video. Specifically, they're using a podcast example, if you notice this, and they're turning it into short form content with captions generated all via AI. And you can actually even get started with this for free. It's really, really cool. And it literally does it within minutes. That's gonna give you about a dozen short form content clips that you can upload to YouTube Shorts, you can upload it to TikTok, Instagram, and any other platform that you're looking to grow with short form content. So now you got a dozen short form content videos that you can go ahead and use to promote this as well. There's another step that you can do too. Now this is all the organic. Step 1 through 3 is all organic. And it doesn't cost you any money to do any of this. That's why it's a great strategy to grow as a coach or consultant early on organically. You get onto podcasts, but you don't just do those podcasts. You're gonna get in front of those audiences, and you can publish the video on your YouTube channel, and you can turn it into shorts. But we're gonna go a layer deeper. Let's say you have a little bit of money you wanna spend on ads. Well, you can use what are called in-feed ads, not like the classic YouTube ads. Classic in-stream ads are ones that appear in front of other videos on YouTube. In-feed ads are ones that appear in the feed. So as people are scrolling on the feed, in search results, let's say they search for something, they'll appear in search results, or as a suggested video alongside other videos on YouTube. Now, this is really powerful because a podcast is a long form video that they can watch, they can consume your content, they can get excited. And so if we get that in front of more people with an in-feed ad, not only are you gonna be able to grow your channel, grow your subscribers, get more exposure, but also you're gonna potentially get leads from that as well as people watch that video, click that link in the description, and then go and sign up for your free gift. So you can see that, oh, wait a second, this isn't super descript of how to do in-feed ads right here. That said, what I have posted right here on the YouTube channel several weeks ago was a complete guide to in-feed YouTube ads to grow your channel. I dive into the Google Ads account. I'm gonna link that in an annotation down below. That way you're gonna be able to go and watch that entire in-feed ad training video to actually take these YouTube videos that you're publishing that have the podcast and turn them into an in-feed ad to go ahead and reach more people. That's the fourth step. That's gonna allow you to reach more people, and you can do that for as little as $5 to $10 a day with these in-feed ads following the strategy inside of that other YouTube video. Now, you want to take it to a whole nother level. You can also run in-stream ads. These are the ads that appear in front of other videos on YouTube in front of people who watch that podcast. You can use in-feed to bring people in top of funnel. So you're reaching people with those in-feed ads, and you can run in-stream ads to them, driving them back over to your lead magnet or whatever gift you're giving people. And so that way, you take anybody who watched your podcast on your YouTube channel and then take those people and then target them with in-stream ads, the ads that appear in front of other videos, that can go and drive that off to your website and get more conversions and more leads and sales today. So, what are some of the big benefits of this strategy? I posted them right all the way at the end of this PDF. You're gonna be able to easily create consistent long-form YouTube content because, again, podcasts are easier to film, and you can use that to bolster your overall channel content. You're gonna be able to refine your message to market with these podcasts. They're great for refining your message. As you get on these podcasts, you're gonna be able to speak about yourself. The podcast hosts are designed to ask you these questions that lead the conversation. Well, you get to spend a whole hour talking about your expertise, and the people that listen to that are gonna be really ingrained and more likely to trust you and wanna work with you. Then from there, you're also gonna get new reach and exposure from these podcasts themselves. We talked about all the ways you're gonna promote this, but remember, the original method, the reason for appearing on podcasts is to get in front of their audience as well. And so that, for us, is almost just like the cherry on top, but most people just appear on podcasts just for that. Now, it's also gonna allow you to build credibility, and then of course, you're gonna be able to create a consistent stream of daily short form content that you can cross promote on every single social media platform. You're gonna create all of that short form content from these podcasts. If you just do one of these podcasts a week or every other week, you should have all the short form content you need to post at least one short form video every single day. And you can just use AI to grab it from the podcast that you already appeared on. Then of course, you could take this even further to run in-feed discovery ads or use in-stream ads as well on the back end. That is the YouTube podcast amplifier strategy that's gonna allow you to go out and really amplify any podcast appearances that you're on. And this is one of the best ways to grow as a coach or consultant, especially if you're already looking at doing podcasts, thinking about doing podcasts. This PDF will walk you through some of the basics of that as well. Hopefully you found this video valuable. If you haven't already, make sure you give it a like. I'm gonna post the link down below to this entire PDF completely for free. This is my gift to you. So go ahead and click that link down below. You can get the full YouTube podcast content amplifier completely for free. Also, if you're looking to have our team potentially help you with this strategy, especially if you're a coach, consultant, course creator, that's exactly what we are able to do. We'd love to talk with you a little bit about that and see if that is a good fit. So you could go ahead and click a different link in the description, which is adoutreach.com/apply, where you can book a YouTube ad strategy call with my team, and we can map out a game plan and strategy to apply this strategy, but also in general, just help you set up YouTube ads so you can get more leads and sales for your coaching or consulting business. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss a video, and I will see you in the next one.